I think they've got to find a way to keep Trey Hendrickson in the fold if they want to make this thing tick. I think he's what's right about this Bengals defense, if you ask me.
In a perfect world, they would give Trey Hendrickson his guarantees, and they would also maybe acquire Myles Garrett. How fun would that be? Can we just pretend?
Listen, if we were in that world and you have Myles Garrett on one side, Trey Hendrickson on the other side.
Imagine.
Oh my God. You talk about wrecking havoc, like it would be absolutely insane. I'm a defensive guy through and through.
Yeah.
I love seeing the pass rush, but the amount that the Browns are going to try to command, right?
Oh, yeah.
For a Myles Garrett, I don't know if they'll get the 2 first-round picks that they're looking for, and I think they said 2 first-round picks, a third-rounder, and a starting caliber player. I don't know if they'll get that, especially
that's a hefty price.
That's a hefty price, but I do think because you have to deal in the world of reality. You got a disgruntled player, so if you're looking to get something of value out of Myles Garrett, I think a first-round pick would do it, but. That's for other teams. For the Bengals, what would the Browns charge if they wanted a Myles Garrett? Probably arm and a leg.
It would, and it would decimate the team at that point. Yeah. You'd have Myles Garrett, you'd have Trey Hendrickson, maybe Jamar Chase, and Joe Burrow.
Yeah,
you can't win with 4 players. There's a reason why there's 11 on the field at each time.
Right, 100%.
It's not going to happen.
And one thing that's kind of strange to me too. I while we're on the topics of trades, people were talking about Cooper Kupp recently.
Yep.
Well, $40 million cap hit right now as it stands. I think. The guy's production just hasn't been what you expect it to be recently. He's dealt with a lot of injuries. He hasn't been on the football field. So I think that I understand the allure of a Cooper Kupp.
Yes, the name. He's made a name for himself.
Yes, right. Yeah. He's this triple crown winner. Yeah. This is a guy in Cooper Kupp I think has definitely earned a name for himself in the National Football League. But I think that any team that trades for him, I don't think that they'd be happy with the results, because I think there's a reason. If he was still the same player that people, that the Rams saw in the past, I think that he would still be a Ram, right? I think they would want to keep him, but I just don't see it as a realistic option. So I don't know. I felt that dialogue that I saw a lot of people talking about very interesting. I think the last thing I want to talk to you on, before I let you go, and I appreciate your time as well,
of course,
is what do you think the Bengals should do in free agency? Right? This is a loaded question. Loaded question here. But what do you think the Bengals should do in free agency? Not what they will do, but what they should do.
What can they do?
Right, yeah.
If you're going to commit that much money to Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and potentially Tee Higgins, and potentially Trey Hendrickson, what can you do in free agency? I believe personally, the next few drafts, maybe 2 or 3 drafts, will be the most important drafts if they want to make it to the Super Bowl with Joe Burrow leading the team, because you not only, and the draft is so weird because a player might be great in college under a certain coach, a player might be great at the Senior Bowl, but once they hit the league and everybody else is at the level that they're at or even better, sometimes those guys just simply don't work out. It's a gamble with every single pick. And the fact that I feel like there's so much pressure on them to make the right picks 100%. This season, next season, and the next season.
And beyond. You look at a team like the Kansas City Chiefs, right? Who have found their way back to the Super Bowl once again, the 3rd year in a row. You got to look at what they've done. Even talking with Harry Roseman earlier this week, the goal is to always get better in the offseason, never leaving a stone unturned, never leaving any stone unturned, constantly staying aggressive. Even when the Bengals hopefully get back to this point of championship level contention, you still have to approach it with, how do we get better? How do we maximize this roster? How do we maximize the Joe Burrow era? That's what it's going to come down to, honestly. And I'm excited to see it all unfold, honestly.